Stephen Mnuchin. Mr. Secretary, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Chris, great to be back with you.
The official unemployment rate, as we just reported for April, is 14.7%. But that does not include the 7 million jobs lost since April 18th, or the millions of workers not looking for jobs, or what are called the underemployed. So, Mr. Secretary, what is the real unemployment rate in the United States as we talk today?
Chris, the real issue, and the President and I understand this, is the economic issues that American workers and American business are facing as a result of this virus and the decision to close the economy. And that's the reason why the President wants to work with the states to safely reopen the economy so we can safely get people back to work. So these are very, very large numbers. These are not large numbers because of the economy wasn't doing well. These are large numbers because we've shut down the economy. And I would just highlight the biggest component of this was in travel and retail and leisure, and not a surprise, we've closed down major parts of the economy.
I'm going to get into that with you in a moment, but I think it's important that we face what the real numbers are. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says what they call the real unemployment number for April, which again includes people who are not looking for work or underemployed, is 22.8%. But again, that does not include, because the unemployment numbers for April stopped in mid-April, does not include the 7 million people who have lost their jobs since then. So aren't we talking close to 25% at this point, which is Great Depression neighborhood?
Chris, we could be, but let me just emphasize, unlike the Great Depression, where you had economic issues that led to this, we closed down the economy. So it wouldn't be a surprise if you closed down the economy that in half of the workforce half the people didn't work. And that's why we're very focused on rebuilding this economy and getting it back to where it was. This is no fault of American business. This is no fault of American workers. This is a result of a virus. And that's why the President and I were determined to put together the largest economic program ever to help American workers get through this. So you are correct. The reported numbers are probably going to get worse before they get better. But that's why we're focused on rebuilding this economy. We'll have a better third quarter. We'll have a better fourth quarter. And next year is going to be a great year.
Well, let's talk about that, because you and the President both say the economy is going to come roaring back. But I got to tell you, and I want to ask you about a number of signs which indicate that the recovery is going to be much slower than that, sir. Job losses are not just in the hospitality industry, airlines, restaurants, as you would expect, but they're more widespread. The white-collar and government sector, 3 million jobs lost. Major retailers like Neiman Marcus and J. Crew declaring bankruptcy, and the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says unemployment at the end, not of this year, but of 2021, will still be 9.5%. Question, are your rosy predictions based on economic reality or the November election?
Chris, let me just emphasize, first of all, these numbers impact real people, and I want to emphasize we understand what this is, how this is impacting real people. So they're not just numbers, it's impacting real people. My numbers aren't rosy. What I've said is you're going to have a very, very bad second quarter, and then I think you're going to see a bounce back from a low standpoint. None of the economic models have ever worked in predicting what happens when you close down due to medical reasons. So my predictions are based upon what I see as the rate of reopening in a careful way. It's also based upon my views, and I've personally heard from many of the doctors that have vaccines and virals in trials, and their expectations of being able to get a vaccine by the end of this year and having real viral treatments, the advent of testing. All these things are going to help give American business and American workers the confidence to reopen in a careful and a deliberate way.
And what about the food supply chain that farm